So I want to mention again the investigation carried out by the Volcano Task Force. And they found evidence that President Bukele had a pact with the gangs, that he had negotiated with the gangs. And of course, as you mentioned, homicides have been reduced, undoubtedly. But on the one hand, you have that, and on the other hand, you have this negotiation with the gang. What do you think of that? Since it's the Volcano Task Force that investigated and found out this evidence.
So I'm not going to speak to internal matters within El Salvador. But what I am going to say is the results are compelling. The results are unprecedented. When you go from the murder capital of the world, the country with the highest rate of homicide of any country on planet Earth, to what we have now, one of the safest countries in the world, in just a few years, that is astonishing, that is staggering, and that is cause for celebration. It is cause for celebration. There's a reason President Bukele was reelected with such overwhelming margins. And it's cause for celebration. When I was meeting with the Minister of Justice, he was describing how other countries in Central America and South America are reaching out to El Salvador saying, how do we achieve results like you have here? How do we take on the cartels? How do we take on the gangs? How do we take on the murderers and criminals who are targeting our citizens? And that is because the results have been tremendous. The same is true in the United States. When our illegal border crossings drop 99%, the results speak for themselves. I represent the great state of Texas. The United States has a southern border that is 2,000 miles long. More than half of it, 1,200 miles of that, is the state of Texas. There's no state in the United States who felt the pain, the harm, the consequences of illegal immigration more than the state of Texas over the last 4 years. And so we're seeing firsthand the results of a strong president following the law. And I will say here, the murder rate dropping 98% in El Salvador demonstrates that the approach of the government is working and it's keeping the citizens safer. That's a good thing.